say anyway?
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Hello, how are we doing today? Look at this. It's episode 2000.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Where's my pen? I don't know. I'll write this down because I don't know what podcast, and I have not found the right number. It's probably 2,290. Wow, 2290. That's mighty cool. And Mike with some helpful words for you today.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
About things maybe you've been thinking about. I got woken up at 5:30 this morning. That was fun.
Mike's
and I didn't mean to.
Daily
So I was like,
Podcast.
I'll go to bed after midnight.
Yeah.
And instead I was woken up at a little bit, yeah. So bags under my eyes, massive, huge. That's how it is today. But hey, it's episode 2290. I got a text message from my lovely lady friend just now. She has not been on a show lately. Oh, have you watched Toast of London yet with Matt Berry? It's very raunchy, funny, goofy. I don't know. I showed a clip to somebody that I know who's a little bit younger. He's in his 30s. He didn't get it. I'm in my 50s. I was laughing. My lovely lady friend, she's a little bit younger than me. She was laughing. And so, I don't know. Maybe you'd like it or not. Matt Berry is pretty funny. Cafe Anyway is where we are today, somewhere in Podcastro Valley, Mont, the last place on earth. Didn't get to do a podcast yesterday. Oh, it was one of those days where you wake up and you know, I guess it's called Sunday. And some of you achieve a lot of things on a Sunday. I, however, did not. I did the bare minimum. But it was a good day. I talked to my mom. She says it's really hot in Florida, y'all. It is hot. It is very... she said it's one of the hottest summers she's ever felt over there.
And here's today's podcast picture.
She lives in the Daytona Beach area. They have not been hit by many hurricanes. Gulf Coast has been getting more of the strong storms, but not so much Daytona Beach. And the podcast picture, why don't we make a podcast picture from Daytona Beach? I'm not sure which one we'll pick. We'll pick a good one, though, because I'm feeling very Floridian today. So, yes, and you saw a podcast picture. The last podcast picture was of Patches, the cat that has adopted us. And Basil the Boxer would not have approved of Patches, but that's okay. The late, great Basil the Boxer, which I don't even know. Perhaps Basil may have met Patches. I have certainly seen Patches in the backyard before, but now Patches has basically become an animal that we're caring for. Sorry, Basil the Boxer. But you know what? Here is what you should do to help support your community. So Costco, the Costco connection. And yes, I mention the Costco connection a lot, but they send it to my house. It's free. And I'll give them a plug, but I'll give them a slug. I mean, I can never get myself to go into the store and actually buy anything. It seems so out of reach, even though I'm in Podcastro Valley, Mont right now. Why don't you just put one in Podcastro Valley is the question. Instead, you got it in Fremont. You got to go all the way to Fremont and go all the way to that part in Hayward that's hard to get out of because you're in this area with lots of traffic jams, or you got to go over to Richmond and you're on an island, Point Isabel, and it's hard. It's crazy. Perhaps you have a Costco that it's easy to get in and out of, and I want to live to where you are. But Costco asked this question: how do you support your community? And Costco members responded to their poll. One person said, I volunteer to walk dogs at my local animal shelter. Oh, that is so awesome. Here's the thing, though. I would get so attached to each and every one of those dogs, and I'd end up probably adopting each and every one of them. The dogs get so excited, and it's fun for me, too, says this person. Well, person, you are fantastic for doing that. Another person writes, I volunteer for Habitat for Humanity. I advocate for LGBTQ plus equality and against racism in our society, and I vote always. Another person writes, I donate platelets and try to be a good human. Being a good human. One thing I do not like when I hear a sermon and the pastor puts down, well, you know, it's not enough just to be a good person. As if that's horrible to be a good person. It's fantastic to be a good person. Yes, I understand what he, or perhaps your pastor is a she, or a whatever. But whatever they're saying, I understand you're trying to achieve a higher purpose, a higher being, a higher what you are asked to do in the Bible. But still, being a good person, that's good. I mean, it's not maybe not the be all end all, but still, being a good person. Be a good person. That's fantastic. I applaud you right then and there. So I just wonder, I hear so many pastors say, yeah, I'd rather you not be a good person, just be a bad person, than not do everything that I tell you need to do. But that's just some pastors, perhaps not all. Just a few that perhaps I got to go to that particular sermon that day and hear that wonderful sermon. So, to write a sermon, all I know how to do is podcast. Good for me. This other person writes, I donate to my local children's hospital. My husband and I make food once a month for a homeless shelter. Look at all these amazing Costco things. Costco customers doing stuff. I volunteer with the Chamber of Commerce and volunteer as an EMT. I donate to the local volunteer fire department, library, ambulance services, pet shelter, families in need, and other local causes. Wow. So does that give you any idea of what you can do to help your community? There you go. The following list, compiled by Inc. magazine, and that's Inc. as in incorporated, includes some of the top ways you can give back to your community. As we go outside a cafe anyway, we're bringing Mike's Daily Podcast somewhere in Podcaster Valleymont. Participate in food drives. Food banks need fresh produce, milk, and hygiene items year-round. They need the hygiene items. Hygiene items. We all need better hygiene. Milk, I don't know about. I mean, I have stopped buying milk. I stopped buying milk a long time ago. At work, there's a little half and half in the fridge that I'll sometimes use to put in my coffee. But other than that, I'm one of those almond milk, oat milk people. And I could not tell. Well, you can tell the difference if you're trying to make mashed potatoes, yes. You need the milk to make the creamy, wonderfully whipped, butter-infused mashed potatoes. But that's really not the healthiest thing for me, I would say. Fresh produce. Food banks need that stuff. I volunteered at a food bank, and they told me, you know, a lot of stuff people throw out, we can still use. And they took us through everything that they can use, and it was fascinating to me how much we waste as a society that we can still use. Sponsor a youth sports team. You'll be able to help a local team with funding and get publicity for you or your company at the same time. And if you have a passion for that particular sport, why not? That's brilliant. You're being more productive than screaming while you're sitting on the couch, eating chips, pretzels. But Mike, I like doing that. That's fun, yelling at the TV screen. Or yelling at my phone as I'm watching a game on my phone, or if I'm at work watching the game on my computer. Don't do that! Oh, that gets annoying. Sponsor an event. And that's from the point of view of a manager. This is a great way to show support to an individual level. On an individual level, sponsoring an event that you believe in, and encourage volunteerism. Volunteering can boost morale and community involvement. That's a win-win for everyone. Volunteering. It's a lot of work. It takes a lot of time. It's tiring to volunteer, but and all volunteers, in my book, are heroes, because it is tough work. I did it for a while, and it never ended, and you can never get out of it. You're stuck in it. It took me, I had to move, basically, before I could end my volunteer for what I was doing back in the Channel Islands Harbor in the wonderful town of Oxnard, California. You should go visit that place. And if you do, stop by the visitor center, and you'll see where I used to volunteer. Hey, what else can we talk about? Oh, real quick. So, you obviously know what's going on in the world and in Afghanistan today. And it made me think about when we have to leave a certain situation. And it's triggered this thought in my mind about how when we need to get out of something, get out of a particular place, a particular area in our lives. And this article written by Annie Dorko. I wonder what nationality Dorko is. Dorko. So, what Annie says, she threw out a couple of suggestions. Money is the source of all stress. Despite what they say, money can help you buy happiness. It helps you feel secure in the simple things, like eating and sleeping with a roof over your head. This is talking about how to start over, how to leave an old lifestyle and embracing a new one. And before she said that about the money thing, she said, inspect and strategize your resources. If you're able to be flexible, you can still go far while having little to your name. The worst aspect is taking inventory and accepting whatever that is. Knowing what you have available to you will help you to make this work to your favor. And then there's the monthly budget. Money is the source of all stress. Visa, loan applications. Despite what they say, money can help you buy happiness. It helps you feel secure in the simple things, like eating and sleeping. Start by counting all of your assets to see how long your cash would last you as you currently live without any more income. Then try to see how far you could stretch it to make it last as long as possible. What expenses do you absolutely need? Which ones can you get rid of? Perhaps your cell phone is a must-have item, but your daily cup of Starbucks, not so much. Ask yourself how you can start increasing your monthly income in this new life of yours. And your skills, they are an asset. Write down all your skills, big and small. Write them down. Whatever you can do, you should consider it as an asset. Work can be traded for accommodation, food, and money. These are all important to your future. And don't sell yourself short. The debts. There's an astonishing amount of personal debt, and it can be incredibly stressful to deal with. List all your debts in order from smallest to biggest. Research the legal rights you still have if you are unable to pay any of them. Are your debts deferrable? Is there a liable asset of yours that they can seize? Know your rights. Paying down your debts is the fastest route to financial freedom. There is the snowball style. That means paying off your smaller debts first and then worry about the big ones. I've heard that. There's a Susie Orman, I think, talks about that. Suze. Plan for the worst case scenarios. This author writes, I have 2 or 3 wildly different plans for what I'll do if something goes sideways. A backup plan, visa application edition. And there's no guarantee it will work out to leave. I can either fly onward and hop away around the world. If that doesn't work, I can fly directly back to the States. This is like leaving the country for sure. And in Bicycle Tour Edition, backup plan. Backup plans. What's your backup plan? When you leave everything behind, you can also leave behind comfort and predictability. Think of worst case scenarios such as your new job lets you down, your house burns down in flames, the airline loses all your things, your visa doesn't get approved, the bicycle you're living on falls to pieces. What will you do if something like that happens? Where will you go? Who will you turn to? I think some people don't even have backup plans. They just live like on the edge, Just play it by ear. Most people panic when they don't know what they're going to do, but the truth of the matter is sometimes this stuff happens. Panic about it for a minute. Then take a step back to think through a rational second plan of action and think outside the box. And then choose how to commemorate your things. Letting go of stuff is hard. We create a deep emotional identity in our belongings. But when it's time to move forward and leave your old life behind, you have to learn to let belongings go. There is a reason why society is steeped in rituals. Rituals help us cope with what is outside of our control. In the same way, the author recommends you create a ritual to deal with letting your belongings go. Saying goodbye. Take a moment with the item. Look it over. Write down anything that really stands out. Take a digital photo. Put it in a special clean trash bag before throwing away or donating it. Or just throw it out. No. Whatever. Cafe whatever. And this article found on the website, withoutboxes.com. Learn to appreciate family is another thing they say. That's true. All very helpful things. Thank you, Annie Dorco, withoutboxes.com. Now, we're outside a cafe anyway, somewhere in Podcastro Valley, Mont, the last place on earth. Look who's here.
Hello, Michael Matthews, Madame Rootabega, and yes, it is time for me to go. Oh,
wait, come back. Why are you're leaving so quickly?
Yes.
You have things to do.
Yes.
Want to hang around?
No.
Nope. I don't want to hang around either. Let's leave. Oh, one more person.
Hello there, Mike. This is Valentino, the parking attendant.
And it's a Bison Bentley. Do you know that?
Bisons are cool. Next show, it'll be the wonderful Benita, the Disgruntled Fiddle Player. No, wait, it's going to be Shelley Shuhart, Floyd the Floorman, and John Deere, the engineer. Chime in about anything we covered today. 336MM Daily. 3 plus 3 equals 6. MM as in Mike Matthews Daily, as in what this podcast will try to be more often if I don't get interrupted. I gotta go.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at mikesdailypodcast.com. Email Mike now at mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye!